Hey everybody, this is Shelby. I want to talk to you today about home is where the heart is. When we think of home, we usually think of where we grew up, and I grew up at my grandmother's house, and she was a great lady. I guess I spent most all of my life up until I was around 22 with her, and she taught me a lot. But she always had good things to eat, and when we came home from school, supper was usually ready, and I would go ahead and eat and then do my homework. And it was just a great place to grow up, and it was a really safe place as far as I was concerned. I felt really safe and real secure there, and that's just the way that she made you feel. Looking back, we really didn't live in a very safe neighborhood. I can look at it now and think, wow, things were so different back then, but still, it wasn't the greatest of neighborhoods. We only had four houses that were right there together in a line, and the railroad track was across the street, sat up on a hill, and so the trains would go by, and of course back then, like the Nancy Hanks would go from Atlanta to Savannah, and we would get out there as kids and just wave and wave at people, and they would wave back. And the engineer and the guy on the caboose, he would wave too. But, it was just a friendly time and I think a safer time. So I really felt like where I lived was safe. But anyway, there were times like during the summer when we didn't even lock the front door, the wooden door. We would latch the screen and then just keep the wooden door open so that the breeze could come down through that giant hall in the mill house. It was a really wide hall. And the breeze would come down and go into the rooms while we slept, and we had our windows up. But nowadays, I wouldn't dare do that. I want all my doors closed and my windows shut. It's just, something that's the way it is nowadays. But anyway, my heart goes back to many good times there, and I only live 3 or 4 minutes from there now, so I go by there every once in a while, but it's not the same. There's people that live there that I don't even know. There's none of my family that lives there, and there's hardly any family left here in Griffin, which is my hometown. Two of the houses are gone of the four. One burned, and the owner was in it. I believe it was a murder. I think the fire was set to conceal evidence. But I remember him, he was a tax man, and he had an office in his house. And I would go down because he had a Coke machine in his office and get my grandmother and I a Coca-Cola. And that was a happy memory for me. And almost every time I would go, he would just laugh and he'd say, I remember when they brought you home from the hospital when you were born. So it really meant a lot to me and hurt me a lot when he passed away and the way that he passed away. But anyway, it was just a different era, a different time, and my heart goes back there a lot of times. In my mind and heart, I spend time in that house. I've even dreamed of walking through that house and my old room, and you don't know what you got till it's gone, and it was really a huge house. Nowadays, to have a house like that, you would think you really had something, but back then it was just our home, our house. But anyway, not to take anything away from my family today, my son and my husband, but I get homesick for the family that I grew up knowing, and my grandmother and my mother and dad, my aunts and uncles. But anyway, I'll maybe tell you some more about my grandmother later. She was quite the character. But anyway, I'll just let y'all have a good evening, and I've enjoyed making this video. It's one of my favorite subjects. So anyway, have a great evening, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.